Hello, welcome back to my channel. It's only me again, and thank you for tuning in for another round of metal detecting. So where am I today? You might remember a few videos ago on my channel, I went into a permission that was right adjacent to a deserted medieval village. The village was deserted in and around the 1400s, and there was about 17 houses here all in all. Today I'm going to try an entirely different field. It's another pasture field, but it has been ploughed in the past, and it's just been topped so the grass is nice and short. We've come at the right time to give this field an absolute good go. We had some good finds on the last hunt. Will we get any more this time? Well, continue watching guys to see what I find, and hopefully we do get some amazing bits. That leaves me to say, of course, thank you very much for watching my videos as always, and if you do want to support the channel and support what I do, please consider giving me a thumbs up. And if you want to be notified every time I upload a metal detecting video, then just hit that subscribe button below. And that just leaves me to say thank you very much for watching again, and I will see you all on the very first hole. Okay, we've got our very first target today in the medieval fields, and I've been here for about 5 minutes. I've kind of walked along the bottom and I've just come across this one. It's not the best signal, I'm not going to lie to you. It's a little bit broken, but it is coming up at around 78 to 80. So I think it's going to be worth a dig. You never know what you're going to get, but this could be just a little piece of scrap aluminium. But let's give it a go and see what comes out. So as you can hear, it's come out of the ground, and now that it's come out, it sounds even worse. And here we go. The find in the medieval field is, of course, a moo tube. So these things always sound good. You kind of have to dig them because they could literally be anything at all, but it's just a moo tube. These are the little things that farmers used to basically put on the cows' udders to stop them from getting infected. And then when they were finished with them, they literally just threw them in the field. And there are thousands and thousands of these everywhere. So I'm hoping today is not going to be a moo tube day. But there we are. That's the first one. Let's push on, see what else comes out. So we have been here now for about 20 minutes, and I've just had my second target, and I've actually gone and found a coin. Can you believe? Now this looks like a very interesting coin, and for the life of me, on first inspections, bearing in mind I haven't cleaned it at all yet, it actually looks like a Roman coin. Can you imagine that? Finding a possible Roman coin on a medieval site. What is the chances of that? Now, I'm no expert in Roman coins. Well, who am I kidding? I'm no expert in any coins, really. But as I said, you know, on first inspections, this really does look like a little Roman coin, but it is quite thin. So potentially, this could also just be a button. But it's got lots of crud on it at the moment, so we're going to have to give it a little clean and see what we can get on here. We might be able to get a little bit of detail off of it, but it's the first coin of the day in this field, and that is a really good sign. So let's give it a clean, see if we can get some detail, and hopefully we can find out what it is. Okay, so I have given this coin some gentle loving with some water. Well, that sounds really dodgy actually, but anyway, I've cleaned it with some water, and this is what we've got. Now, I'm still undecided. I really am. I mean, I've brought out a little bit of detail on this coin, but there's not a lot left on it at all. But there are some sort of interesting little features. It's just really, really difficult to try and make them out. And of course, this is the other side here, which again, you know, you would expect to see a bust or something. I can kind of see sort of some lumps on it, but there's nothing identifiable on it at all. It's very, very thin. It could potentially be a jeton. There's still a chance it could be a button. I'm just not convinced about the Roman, simply because of where we are. I think it would just be so strange to find a Roman coin here. But granted, it does look like a Roman coin. So what do you guys think? Please leave your comments below. If you had found this coin in the field, what would you think it was? I'm completely stumped, but I'm happy to find it, because of course it means we could find some more. And if we do, I will put them on the video and we can look at them together. Just had another really interesting little find here. Now, it's made of copper alloy, and it gave such a nice signal, so I wasn't surprised that it was made of copper alloy, but it's quite an unusual looking thing. It's kind of conical in shape, quite long. I mean, weirdly, it kind of reminds me of the nose that you find on those plague masks from like the 17th and 18th century. Quite an interesting fact actually about those masks that I didn't know, and I only found out quite recently. But the reason why those masks had really long kind of like beaks was because they actually used to fill them with really smelly herbs, so that when they were dealing with the victims of the plague, essentially they were breathing in what they probably thought was much purer, nicer smelling air, and trying to fight off the infection. And I never knew that until very recently. I just thought that I don't know, they probably made those masks to kind of keep a distance maybe from the plague victims. But yeah, a nice little interesting fact there for you. However, what is this one? I have absolutely no idea. So it's not all one piece. It's actually folded over to make the circle. It's quite long. It's broken off on the end. But it's quite interesting. It almost reminds me of the bottom bit to maybe like a dagger or a sword or something like that, because it's just kind of got that look to it. It's completely filled with mud, I believe, so I'm not sure that there's any wood or anything in the bottom, which sometimes you do find in the bottom of those dagger and sword things. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? I can't see any decoration on there. It's really, I'm so unsure about this one's age. It could be really old. It could be medieval. But of course it could be relatively modern. So it's another one for you. What do you guys think? Do you think this is old? Do you think this is new? Do you think it's hedge fodder? No, I'm going to keep it. But yeah, this really could be anything at all. So please let me know in the comments below what you think this might be. I'm thinking it's quite old, so hopefully I can find out a little bit about it. But there we are, another great find in the medieval field. Let's push on. Take a look at this absolutely massive coin that's just come out of the ground. Solid 83, this one. And wow, look at that. So I'm pretty sure everybody watching this channel who's watched my previous videos will know exactly what this coin is. It's unmistakable. It's big, it's chunky, it's made of bronze, and it's an absolutely stunning signal. Take a listen. Be digging that all day long, wouldn't you? So, have you guessed yet? Of course, it's a Cartwheel penny. Not much detail on this one, unfortunately, but it's another Cartwheel penny, guys. Seem to find these absolutely everywhere. So, yeah, that's not too bad. There's obviously coins in this field. We've just got to push on and try and find them. But there we are, a nice 1797 Cartwheel penny. Oh, no way. So we've just had another moo tube, although it's quite a large moo tube this time. I'm not sure it's sort of one of those typical small ones. It looks like it might have contained something else completely, but yeah, I kind of knew that it was a moo tube because it was coming up at around 79 to 81 on the VDIs. I think there's going to be a few in this field. It's a good thing because essentially what it means is that nobody's done it before, because anybody that would have done this field before would have been digging those types of targets. But I think what we've got to do is learn, look at the VDI, know that sort of between those numbers, and we're only looking at about 3 numbers, just not to dig them, and hopefully we can just walk over them and avoid them in the future. But yeah, it's another piece of tin. So it's quite an interesting target, this. It's coming in at the low 70s, which, to be honest with you, I wouldn't normally dig this sort of target, but I've made my way up here on the top of the hill. It's a complete wind tunnel up here, so excuse the wind noise if you can hear it. But you know, there's a lot of iron around here, which would suggest that maybe there was some type of building or some sort of occupation. So I think we've got to give it a go. I'm really not expecting anything good out of this one, but you're not going to know until you try. So let's try our luck. So you're in the middle of nowhere next to a deserted medieval village. You walk on the top of the hill, get the most awesome view in the world. And what do you find in the ground? A fork. So we've got a really nice target down here, coming in at sort of 85 to 86, maybe even a little bit of 87 in there as well, but it's pretty consistent. And it's quite a different sounding target to some of the other ones we've had in here, so let's give this one a go. So I don't know if you've noticed by watching the video so far, but this ground is absolutely solid. I mean, I love summer. I mean, it's still spring now, but you know, I love everything about it. You know, the views, the ice cream. But one thing I do not like is how hard it makes this ground, because it is just so difficult to dig. Okay, so this one's come out in the hole, and let's see if we can figure out what it is. So this one's pretty interesting. I think we've actually gone and found ourselves a silver coin, although it's a very blank silver coin. I think it's a milled one. And I can see some detail on here, although, oh yes, there we go. There is a bust here on the back. And on the front, we've kind of got those 4 shields again. And I think I know what this coin is. And it's quite a special little coin. So what I actually think this coin is a solid silver 1696 sixpence, and I think it's dated to William III, and it's one of those really early milled silver coins. So these coins were one of the very early formed milled coins with a certain type of edge, and coins dated to kind of this reign and a little bit later all started to have this quite thick beveled edge, and the edge had little hash markings all around it. And the idea was that they had to redesign the coin so that it couldn't be clipped like all the old hammered coins were. It was quite a good idea, and these types of coins lasted for hundreds and hundreds of years. In fact, coins still to this day sometimes still have a beveled edge. The £1 coin, for instance, here in the UK, still has a hashed edge on the edge. And I think really the sole purpose of that is just a callback to when milled coins like this were in use. So yeah, we've just gone and found ourselves a really special little coin. So it's 1696, so we're looking at what, 300, maybe 400 years old, and it's solid silver. So that's our first silver coin of the day, and it's quite worn, so it's very likely that this was probably the runner-up to be a love token. To give you a little bit of a rundown, love tokens used to be made of silver coins, and they used to rub them completely flat so there was no detail on it. And sometimes they would bend them into a little S shape. And essentially it was a sort of memento for somebody that you liked or you fancied, and you'd give it to them. And that was your way of kind of saying, you know, let's hook up and Netflix and chill. Looks like just a piece of scrap alloy, nothing of any interest. Yep, that's 100% genuine hedge fodder. Really sweet, kind of 86, 87 there. It's very kind of segregated to everything else, completely quiet around this target, yet that one little hit right there, 86, 87. I think we're going to be digging this one for sure. Let's see what we've got. Hopefully it's going to be something good. Okay, so it looks like we've got a little profile coming through here. You can just see the corner of it. Is this going to be a 1p? Sure looks like a 1p, doesn't it? 1 penny. Pretty bad condition, but yeah, I'm almost 100% sure this is a 1 penny. It's the perfect size, the perfect thickness, and on the back there, who is that going to be? Is it going to be Victoria? I think it is. I think that is a Victorian 1 penny, so that would date to about the 1800s, something like that. Still not medieval, that's for sure. And that was what, maybe sort of 4 or 5 inches down. So well, it's interesting. At least it's a coin, but we're gonna have to keep pushing on if we want those medieval goodies. Okay, so we have finally got this one out, and it's a coin. But what type of coin is this one? Let's give it a little clean and find out. It looks like a kind of Georgian coin, possibly a George III. But let's give it a little brush and see if we can get any detail from it whatsoever. And let's take a closer look. So we've given this one a bit of a squirt of water, slight rub with the toothbrush, and yeah, a lot of digging for what seems to be a George III, probably a penny, this one. So this would date to the early 1700s, and yeah, there seems to be quite a few of these types of coins in this field. So obviously there's been some occupation, some activity in here, but obviously it's nowhere near the kind of time scale that we're looking for, so we're just going to have to push on. So it's about 4:15 now, and I've been walking up and down this field all day underneath the hot sun, just getting completely baked today. I think today's most likely one of the hottest days of the year so far. So yeah, it's been pretty hard work. The ground has been rock hard in places, and I'm starting to feel it now, to be honest. It's becoming a lot more of an effort than it should be, but I've made my way up the top of this field. I mean, this couldn't be any further away from where the deserted medieval village is, and I'm working my way to sort of along this hedgerow here. Lo and behold, I get a target, and it is a screaming target. What a target it was. And I've gone and found something which actually is dateable and is very, very likely to be from the date of the medieval village. Come and take a look. Okay, so this here is a medieval pot leg. It is one hefty chunk of bronze, and it's pretty big. It's quite a big one, and it's got some really nice detail left on it. And for anybody that doesn't know, these are the things that used to go on the bottom of pots and cauldrons, and then they used to sort of cook their dinner and roast things in them. And of course, yeah, that's where they come from. That's why they get their name, medieval pot legs. And you know, you find them everywhere, and they're really good dating tools, because if you find one of these, chances are you can date it. Some of them are from the post-medieval period, but a lot of them, I think, like this one here, is most certainly from around the 1400s. So this is the only thing all day that I found which pretty much dates that medieval settlement. And I find it, at the end of the day, as far away from the deserted medieval village as humanly possible. What are the chances of that? Honestly, it's you know, you can't sort of you know, go out in this hobby and be 100% confident that you're going to go somewhere and find something, because trust me, that is not how it works. You can do all the research in the world and you'll go there and it will have nothing, and then, you know, you can just walk into the most random field sometimes and you'll find an absolute ton. But yeah, there we are, guys, a big bronze cast medieval pot leg, probably sort of 14th, maybe 1500s, and that's probably the oldest thing we found all day. So we are now at the end of the day, guys. It has been absolutely baking today. It was quite windy, so obviously it hides the fact that you're just getting burnt to a crisp. However, I've been out here for 8 hours now, and yeah, I'm really starting to feel it. It's about 10 to 5, so I think, you know, we've given it a good go today for sure. So this permission, although it is next to a medieval village, isn't producing the types of finds that I would expect it to do. I mean, we're getting some nice bits, you know, we've had a really nice milled silver coin, pot legs, little bits and bobs. I'm happy with that. I mean, I'm happy just to be out in the, you know, great outdoors with wonderful views and the birds singing. That to me is a successful day. But it's puzzling why we're not getting all the medieval bits. So I'll have to do some investigations, maybe look at some maps and things. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. Maybe somebody's come and had it all before me. I'm not too sure. But all I know is it's definitely time to go now. So that leaves me to say thanks very much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you want to support the channel. And of course, if you want to be notified every time I upload a video, then hit that subscribe button as well. I'm off to get a well-deserved cool glass of drink, and I will see you all on the very next video.